Hello and welcome to the background development of Event Ease by student 104-98082. In the beginning of the assignment, we were requested to make an ERD. I have developed my lovely ERD. Venue, booking, and event must have at least one relationship or many with Event Easer. So, venue has its own primary key. Booking has its own primary key, and event has its own primary key together. And these primary keys are their IDs, which are unique identifiers for each happening. Together, they create an event, which is created here in Event Easer. This is the main way of helping managers plan for their day-to-day activities. So Event Easer is the one that's mostly going to help them. A venue can exist at any point, at any time. A booking is only available for a specific amount of time and is for a particular time. And an event can only happen during a particular period. So only venue and event contain images, because a venue, you need to see what the place looks like, and an event, you need to understand what type of ambiance will be taking place. So we come to SQL by Microsoft. Connect. And while we connect, it's not working, but it's fine. I've already completed this part, so I will simply show you what it's going to look like. All of this was completed using the virtual machines, and the experience is sometimes a bit scary because the virtual machine sometimes it doesn't connect to the server, sometimes it does. Haven't really figured out why that happens, but at least I managed to get my project done, which is the most important part of all of this. So you can see that I did try to do this POE on several occasions, each time discovering something new, and now this is the final one. It has been uploaded to GitHub, and the SQL code you think about that. Just want to move you. Okay. So here's my lovely SQL code with absolutely no errors found in it. Create the database, which can be found here, this is the database essentially. Then we use the database to create venue as depicted in this ERD. We make it run. Then we create another table for bookings as depicted in the ERD. We make it run. Then we make our second final table, event, as depicted in the ERD. We make it run. Then we have the Event Easer, which uses aspects of all the tables to simplify the process of making and displaying what managers are most interested in so that they can plan better. So that was the SQL. These are my tables. Pop. And this is the end of this document for now. So this is where we jump straight into once we have finished the SQL. We come to our app settings. This is our app settings. This is located here on the Solution Explorer. And we make a connection here. We tell the computer where to find the information. We tell the program, we tell the code where to find the information that we're going to be using. Once we have done that, then we can go to the models. The models are simply everything that we did in the SQL. We are going to bring it in to the model. It has to look exactly the same. Booking ID, boom. Capacity, boom. Date, time span. And all of this is exactly the same as it is over here in booking. Booking ID, capacity, date, time, date. The same thing with venue. Venue ID, venue name, address, capacity, and vimage. As you can see, venue is the name of the class as well. Venue ID is an integer. Venue name, address, capacity, vimage. So all of them are going to look, all the models are going to look like this, as they are depicted in the ERD, but most importantly, as they've been programmed in the SQL. Lovely, right? But now these are just objects that exist. They need a way to be manipulated. Thus, we go to the controllers. The controllers determine the behavior of how the objects are going to be manipulated. So we create controllers for each table. Here we have our venue controller, and our venue controller is created, and a lot of actions are defined here as to how it will act when it's being viewed, how the interactions will function essentially. And so we have our controllers allow us to index, to delete, to create, and to edit. That's lovely that we have those and that they exist, so we can immediately rush to data. Data tells us to create these objects essentially so that they can, data, it's first models, then data, then controllers. So this was second, and this just creates the getting of whatever the controller has asked for. For example, if the controller asks to create an event, the event will be got and set here into the model, which is the table that is in SQL. A lot of things happen in this project. So how does the user even interact with these things if they don't have a place to interact with them? Thus, views are created for each individual aspect of the happening. For example, venue has create, delete, details, edit, and index, whereas home is default and so is shared. Whereas event can only be created, edited, or indexed. There is no reason to delete an event. Events only pass, so you don't need to delete them. Let me show you an example of what more or less each of these would look like. The create class is simply HTML code here that is going to create a simple display where a user can input, not the user, but the manager can input values, and each value will correspond to the model. Venue, model. See? Okay, so here you see we've made event is.model venue, and our model here is the venue. Our venue ID is auto incremented, so each time a new venue comes up, it will have a new ID. All IDs are auto incremented for simplicity, and incrementing is a really simple way to not repeat. Yes, you could use random numbers. Yes, you could use a collection of words, for example, the first three, and then a few numbers, the last three. But some people have the same name. Not some people, some venues have the same name, or sometimes the generation of numbers can be a little bit similar, or even not a little bit, but can be exactly the same. So it's not a reliable choice. Thus, this is auto-incremented and does not require the input of a user. That's why it's not in the create. So, what is in the create, however, is the venue name, address, capacity, and image, which cannot be found here. Image, capacity, and address, the only three that matter. And this pattern will be evident in all my views because the IDs are primary keys and they're auto-incremented. Okay, yeah, we've seen create, but what about delete? Delete works in the same way. When a venue is deleted, we confirm with the user if they're really sure they want to delete it. We get the address and we delete it. If they want to see the details, it's displayed in a nice list: address, capacity, and image, so that the user can see all of them. Wow, this is so interesting. No, one, sorry. The user can see one. When it is indexed is when the user can see all the events and scroll down, almost like a catalog. To edit, editing works similar to create. There's very little difference between them. To index is where it will just simply be displayed in a tabulated form for the user to appreciate. This is auto-generated code. This is also auto-generated code. I have no idea what it says. So that is about it. Oh no! Then we come here to make our connection official. Let's see, this is the one. Refresh. And since the beginning of my video, my SQL Microsoft does not seem to work, I don't think this will load. Moment of truth, moment of silence. Well, close enough. Thank you so much for your time. I am Fazila Carlos Mazuz, student number ST 104-98082.